Before Roman Reigns became the tribal chief, before he carried WWE on his shoulders, there were battles, brutal, dangerous, career-defining battles that pushed him to the edge of survival. Tonight, we're diving deep into 5 of the most terrifying matches Roman Reigns has ever fought. Matches so violent and unpredictable that fans still talk about them today. From blood-soaked wars to near career-ending moments, these are the matches that forged Roman Reigns into the monster he is today. This is not for the faint of heart. This is Roman Reigns at his most dangerous. Number 1. Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 30. When WWE announced Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31, the entire WWE universe knew one thing: this wouldn't be a normal match. This wasn't just a main event, it was a war. Brock Lesnar was at his most terrifying, a former UFC heavyweight champion who had just destroyed John Cena at SummerSlam with 16 German suplexes. And Roman, he was young, hungry, powerful, but still unproven. What happened next would become one of the most violent WrestleMania main events of all time. From the opening bell, Brock Lesnar went straight into savage mode. He did wrestle Roman, he assaulted him. The suplexes were stiff, dangerous, and full force. Every time Roman's body hit the mat, you could hear the impact echo through the stadium. Brock wasn't just trying to win, he was trying to break him. He even landed the infamous line mid-match, Suplex City. Roman kept getting up. That was the shocking part. Even after a brutal F5 that looked like it snapped his spine, Roman smiled through the blood running down his face. The match turned into a gladiator-style beating, spear after spear, Superman punch after Superman punch, both men barely standing. Then came the moment fans will never forget: Seth Rollins cashing in the Money in the Bank contract. For the first time ever, a WrestleMania main event turned into a triple threat mid-match. The chaos that followed was unforgettable: Rollins stomping Brock, Roman spearing Brock, Rollins stomping Roman and stealing the WWE Championship. Even though Roman didn't win, this match changed everything. He proved he could survive Brock Lesnar's most violent beating and keep getting up. It showed the world that Roman wasn't just a pretty face or a chosen one. He was a fighter, a warrior, a future tribal chief in the making. This was the match that began Roman's transformation from a fan favorite to the unstoppable force we know today. Brutal, bloody, unforgettable, WrestleMania 31 remains one of the most dangerous nights in Roman Reigns' career. Number 2. Roman Reigns vs. Braun Strowman, ambulance match. Few rivalries in WWE history were as physically brutal as Roman Reigns vs. Braun Strowman, and their ambulance match stands out as one of the most dangerous matches Roman has ever survived. Braun Strowman was in his Monster Among Men era, a time when he flipped ambulances, destroyed stages, and treated steel steps like toys. Roman was the only wrestler who refused to stay down. The match began with pure chaos. Strowman immediately threw Roman around like a ragdoll, smashing him into barricades, steel posts, and the ambulance itself. Roman tried to land his signature punches, but Braun brushed them off like mosquito bites. Strowman was stronger, heavier, meaner, and he fought like he had something to prove. But Roman didn't back down. He fought with pure adrenaline, hammering Strowman with Superman punches and spears. One of the most dangerous moments came when Strowman picked Roman up and launched him headfirst into the ambulance door, ripping it off the hinges. The crowd gasped. That wasn't planned, that was raw power. Roman eventually fought back, spearing Strowman through the side of the ambulance in one of the most insane spots of the year. Commentary yelled that Roman broke his shoulder. It looked real. The crash was brutal. After Strowman won, things got even more violent. Roman hijacked the ambulance, locked Strowman inside, and crashed it into a production truck. The door caved in, metal twisted, smoke filled the air. Fans thought Strowman was seriously injured. Even referees and agents looked terrified. This wasn't just a match. This was a car crash in real life, all centered around 2 of WWE's most dangerous men. Roman walked away, barely able to stand, but he walked away a survivor of one of the most brutal fights of his career. Number 3. Roman Reigns vs. Triple H, WrestleMania 32. WrestleMania 32 was supposed to be Roman Reigns' crowning moment, but what nobody expected was just how dangerous, stiff, and downright brutal this main event would become. Triple H wasn't just a veteran stepping into the ring. He was the game, the cerebral assassin, the man who built his entire career on inflicting punishment. And Roman, he walked into that stadium with over 100,000 fans booing him. The pressure was insane, and the atmosphere was hostile before the bell even rang. From the very beginning, Triple H took the match into dark territory. He didn't wrestle a technical style. He fought Roman like he wanted to break him physically and psychologically. Roman took stiff knees, heavy punches, and a vicious series of neck-focused attacks that had fans thinking he'd get seriously injured. Triple H targeted Roman's shoulder relentlessly, bending, twisting, and slamming the joint in ways that looked dangerously close to real damage. But Roman didn't fold under the pressure. He fought with raw power, refusing to give Triple H the satisfaction of watching him break. Every time Roman landed a Superman punch, every time he pushed through the pain, the boos got louder and he kept going anyway. That takes intensity most wrestlers will never understand. One of the most dangerous moments came when Triple H slammed Roman through the announce table with a spinebuster so hard the table exploded instantly. Roman landed awkwardly, the commentators went silent for a second, and you could tell that wasn't a soft landing. The crowd erupted, but Roman stayed down for only a moment before rising like a man refusing to die. Then came the sledgehammer, Triple H's signature weapon. The moment he grabbed it, the energy in the stadium shifted. Suddenly this didn't feel like a match anymore. It felt like a mugging. Roman dodged one deadly swing that would have cracked his ribs, maybe worse, but still took heavy hits that would drop most wrestlers instantly. The final spear Roman delivered to win wasn't just a finishing move, it was survival. It was Roman pushing through pain, injury, exhaustion, and the most hostile crowd of his life to take the WWE Championship. This match was long, brutal, and loaded with dangerously stiff spots. Even today, WrestleMania 32 stands as one of Roman Reigns' most physically demanding and punishing matches ever, the night he walked through fire and proved he could handle a main event built for warriors, not just superstars. Number 4, Roman Reigns vs. Edge vs. Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 37. When Roman Reigns stepped into WrestleMania 37's triple threat, he wasn't the underdog anymore, he was the tribal chief, the most dangerous man in WWE. But that night, he faced two legends who refused to die. Edge, the rated-R superstar returning from retirement, and Daniel Bryan, the ultimate underdog who could out-wrestle anybody. What followed was one of the most intense and chaotic main events in WrestleMania history. From the moment the bell rang, Roman targeted both men with ruthless precision. He didn't want to win, he wanted to dominate. But Edge and Bryan teamed up, and Roman suddenly found himself on the receiving end of violent chair shots, steel steps, and dangerous double-team attacks. At one point, Bryan dropkicked a chair directly into Roman's face with such force that fans thought his teeth were gone. One of the most terrifying moments came when Bryan locked in the yes lock, twisting Roman's neck at an angle that didn't look safe at all. As Roman fought to escape, Edge came in with a crossface of his own. For the first time in the Tribal Chief era, Roman was helpless, two legends stretching him, ripping his jaw, pulling at his neck. The image of both men wrenching Roman at the same time was shocking and dangerous. But Roman snapped. He powered out with brute strength, refusing to let anyone take his place at the top. The match escalated into pure violence, Edge spearing Roman off the apron, the kind of impact that could easily injure a spine. Bryan diving through the ropes. Roman smashing skulls with the steel chair like a man possessed. The ending was pure dominance, Roman stacking Edge and Daniel Bryan on top of each other, pinning them both simultaneously. Not just winning, humiliating two Hall of Famers in one move. This wasn't just a match, it was an announcement. The Tribal Chief was untouchable, and it remains one of the most dangerous, high-risk, high-impact battles of Roman's career. Number 5, Roman Reigns vs. Jey Uso, Hell in a Cell I Quit match. Roman Reigns vs. Jey Uso at Hell in a Cell wasn't just dangerous physically. It was psychologically devastating, emotionally brutal, and one of the most personal matches WWE has ever produced. Inside the steel structure, Roman didn't fight his cousin like an opponent, he fought him like a king punishing a rebellion. Every move Roman delivered had weight, emotion, and a level of violence rarely seen today. Jey tried to use speed, but Roman cut him off with heavy clotheslines, suffocating grapples, and ground-and-pound that felt more UFC than WWE. One of the most dangerous moments came when Roman repeatedly smashed Jey with fists while screaming at him to acknowledge him. There was no showmanship. This was raw, uncomfortable brutality. Roman's power was overwhelming, and Jey looked genuinely shaken at multiple points. The match took a terrifying turn when Roman hit a spear so hard that Jey's body folded in half. The impact looked real, too real. Roman then delivered another spear, this time slower, more deliberate, like a dominant animal finishing prey. Jey refused to quit, and the punishment only got worse. Then things went from violent to shocking. Roman used the leather strap to choke Jey, dragging him across the ring, pulling him like he owned him. The steel cage made the moment even more intense, trapping them inside a living nightmare. The emotional peak came when Jimmy Uso jumped in to save his brother. Roman pretended to cry, dropping to his knees, a chilling moment. And then, in a flash, he locked Jimmy in a guillotine choke so tight the commentators panicked. Jimmy gasped, Jey screamed, and the entire arena went silent. Jey finally said, "I quit," to save his brother's life. Roman didn't win this match, he conquered it. This wasn't just danger, this was domination mixed with psychological warfare. Hell in a Cell 2020 remains one of the darkest, most dangerous, and most emotionally intense matches of Roman Reigns' entire career.